Hello and welcome to this week's episode. We are going to be taking a look at alien encounters, continuing on with our spooky sods through October. I'm going to hand you over to Jess, who's going to be our first story.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode. I just want to preface that we haven't read these. These are blind react. We have no idea what they're about. Well, obviously they're about alien abductions, but we have no idea like what kind of alley we're gonna go down with this. So just bear with and relax and enjoy. So the first story is from r/alien encounters, and it's called "Could This Be a Case of Alien Visitation?" Hello, everyone. I posted a story on a paranormal subreddit about an experience I had that I can't explain. One person who commented suggested that it could have been an alien visitation of some sort, where they force people to fall asleep. I'm a 24-year-old female from Europe, and I've had unexplainable encounters pretty much since I was 3 years old, until I was 17 when I told the universe I didn't want to experience this anymore. Also, I want to mention I don't know much about aliens and this type of stuff. I have been more on the spiritual side when I was younger. Well, here goes the story. When I was 21, I experienced something that I'd never encountered before. It was a Friday, and I was having two ciders with my colleagues after work. Afterward, I wanted to go home, relax, and play some games. Around 7 p.m., I was waiting for the train when one of my colleagues called me, saying they were going out and that it would be really fun if I joined. I told them I just wanted to go home and chill and wished them a good time. When the train arrived, I sat down in a four-seater space, and there weren't many people on board, so there was plenty of room. Just before the doors closed, a woman walked in and sat diagonally across from me. I didn't see her face, but I noticed she had darker skin and wore a pink winter coat. I tried to look up to see her face, and that's when I suddenly fell into a deep sleep. I've never fallen asleep that quickly or deeply on a train or bus before, and I wasn't drunk or really tired. There were about 6 stops before I reached home, and during the second stop, I tried to open my eyes, but it felt like something was keeping them shut. I saw a man looking at me, and then I tried again to look up at the woman, only to fall asleep again. The same thing happened once more, but when my train finally reached my station, I felt my body jolt awake, and it felt like my legs were walking on their own really fast. That's when I noticed the woman was also getting off the train. It's not a big station, and I live in Europe, so you can easily see everyone getting off. I walked out, trying to turn around to see where she was, but I couldn't find her. All I felt was my brain telling me, you need to go home fast. It felt like my legs were almost running on their own. When I got home, I just started crying. Good to mention, I was not on any drugs and I was not drunk, nor do I have any illness. Has anyone had any similar experiences, or maybe the same thing happened to them? I have never had that happen to me. I don't wish to be visited by aliens nor abducted, thank you. I like to read people's stories, but it's not for me.
Did it say anything about her dreaming whilst being asleep, or like she was just asleep?
No, she was like she was asleep, but recalls trying to open her eyes and feeling like something was trying to keep them shut, but then she like she fell asleep again, but like a deep sleep, which she says doesn't really happen on a train or bus, which I kind of get that, especially when you're only going 6 stops. Interesting. I have heard a few stories like that where, people are made to fall asleep before things happen, or interesting. There is no comments on this story, unfortunately, but it has got 9 upvotes.
I don't know
And
if
that was
like
14 days ago.
I don't know if it gives me alien vibes though on that one.
No.
I know like she's just said like someone said it possibly could be.
Mhm. It
Uh,
could be more paranormal
hmm.
in that sense, but
But then who knows what's paranormal and what's aliens?
yeah, I was just about to say, how do we really know, like, how would we really know if there was an alien or not, right? I mean, I'm an avid believer in aliens, FYI, just so you know.
Okay, so our next story is from r/abductions. I woke up in the middle of something medical being performed by unknown entities on three separate occasions. Does anyone know what's happening to me? There were other very strange and unbelievable things that were going on at the time. I know now that I was being gang stalked after my ex-husband hires a private investigating team to stalk me whilst we were going through our divorce.
Oh, wonderful.
Sounds like a delight. There are three distinct times that I woke up in the middle of more than one being doing things to my body. The first time I woke up in the middle of the night, unable to move, to a man and a woman at the end of my bed with my legs in stirrups, naked from the waist down, and what felt like a metal pinball rolling around in my abdomen. The woman realized I was awake and she rushed to my side and went right back out like I was being sedated. I didn't even remember it until a couple weeks later, but I couldn't accept what had really happened. Do you know what? I've heard stories of people saying that like they've been impregnated
Mhm.
by aliens, especially the Greys. That seems to be the one that comes up a lot, and like they are the vessel that carries
Mhm.
the being, you know.
Yeah, and then like so you get impregnated and then the baby disappears before you go full term. It's insane. That actually happened in the X-Files with Mulder and Scully, by the way, FYI. It shook me because like I only watched it 20 years later and I was like, wow, very interesting. And then all this stuff's coming out now and there's literally millions of people that have had encounters or visitations or abductions. It's mental. Go and have a deep dive. It's strange because she's in her bed
Yeah.
while this is happening, and usually people will say that they will, they're in a like a medical kind of scene.
Mhm.
But this is strange for it to be in her bed anyway. Sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
That's fine. The second time I woke up, it was the same man and woman, and it felt like a metal alligator clip with teeth clamped down on my Achilles tendon. There was a flow of electricity being ran from my ankle up my leg into my vagina. It actually says vaginas, but we all know you only have one. And they were working on sending the current up to my nipples.
What?
It felt like there was a wire sending shocks of electricity through me like a TENS machine. Have you ever used a TENS machine?
I haven't know, but I've seen videos of it.
This time, when she realized I was awake, she didn't say anything or put me back out. I couldn't move or speak or defend myself, and she was amused by it. The man didn't know I was awake. I must have went back out eventually, but the next day I had red marks and a rash on both my Achilles tendons.
Wow.
The third time, I didn't wake up to it happening. I remember from the beginning. Looking back, I had to have been drugged because I wasn't in my right mind, and I was following their demands blindly without argument or hesitation. The same man and woman were telling me to get in between my mattress and my box spring. I did what I was told, and I could still see out from in between. My whole bed was lowered through the floor into an empty apartment below where there was an operating table and a medical tray set up with all kinds of instruments and surgical supplies. The next thing I know, I'm waking up in the next morning in between my mattress, and I had the same injury and rash on the back of my ankles, but it was on the backside of my ears too.
Well, I'm so confused by this story. Like, what on earth was going? What was happening to you? It sounds more like torture than anything else, doesn't it?
Right. Another incident happened, but I'm unsure of the order. It could have been before all of that or in between the procedures, but it's part of the mystery of it all. I was laying on my stomach to go to sleep, and I started feeling this magnetic sensation, like the force that pushes the same poles of two magnets away from each other. I could feel the sensation on my legs. It was like a directed magnetic push, and I could feel it moving upwards towards my butt, like something was controlling it. I couldn't deny that something was happening, so I opened my eyes, and the wall that I was facing has this huge triangle opening in it, with the woman standing there looking out, and the man crouched low, diving back into the opening in the wall as fast as he could. She says, "What happened?" And he whispers, "Shh, go, go, go." When he gets the opening, the cut wall swings shut like a door, and a blue light outlines the now closed opening from the inside. I ran over to the wall, and where it had sealed, it was warm to the touch. There was a definite line where the wall had been opened up and resealed from that point on. This is just a fraction of the crazy stuff I went through down there. I could write a book, and the truth would sound so unbelievable. If this resonates with anyone, please let me know. You may be able to help me with the pieces that I'm missing to this puzzle. Thank you for reading.
Please tell me we have some comments to this story.
There's only two comments. One just says that it's been reported by others. Try posting on r/experiences. So there's another thread for you to go and look at. And the other one says maybe you are in the hybrid breeding program. Message me to discuss various stories privately if you want.
Wow. So that is one thing that I was going to mention as I was going through the story, because there is a thing that potentially some of us humans are actually hybrids, and that's like the visitations of them coming to check and things like that. And sometimes traumatic events in people's lives can trigger a visitation. Obviously, if in quotations, if they're a hybrid. Um, but this, I mean, because it say at the end that someone helped to leave, like was like, get out, go, go, go.
No, the man was like, go, go, go to the other woman because it was always a man and a woman, wasn't it? They quickly left, and she like went to go through the same wall that they'd gone through. Because
Yeah.
the thing that I take from it is that they can jump through different like
Hmm.
planes of dimensions, so they can see different things and create different things to what we can do.
Yeah. They
So
can literally just open a portal and close a portal.
yeah, and how her bed like went through the floor as well.
Yeah. See, well, when she described the bed going through the floor and being in like a medical setting, that is so strange. And I can understand why you asked the universe for it to stop. Because if that's only one of the stories, wow. I'm sorry that you went through that. And I hope that you're okay. And I hope that the divorce is final and that you're not still going through stuff with your ex-husband.
What a crazy ex-husband anyway.
I know. I mean, not to say that I don't believe the story, but part of me kind of thought, like, could it be the husband, that she's being drugged and then like she's being like tortured in a sense. But then again, how would a husband like go through a portal in the wall? It's strange, very strange.
Maybe he's an alien.
Maybe he is. The next story is from r/abductions, and it's called Something Came Into My House and Sat on My Bed, Then I Lost Time. Hi all, I don't post much, so apologies if this is too long. I tried to cut it down while keeping all the necessary info in. Context. When I, 38 male, was 18, I lived in a suburb of southeast Melbourne, Australia, Noble Park. Our house was the odd one out. On a street of 70s, 80s brick homes, ours was an Alpine style weatherboard home with a steep roof built in the early 20th century. It was old, cold, and noisy, and you could see the ground through the gaps in the floorboards. We had a big dog who stayed outside until everyone was home and then slept outside in a big pen/doghouse at night, mostly in the summer. We also have an indoor cat. The week it happened, I was home alone. Dad was overseas, and Mum and Sis were visiting family. What happened? One night, when walking home from work, I rounded the corner and noticed a figure standing on our carport roof, looking through a window into one of the three upstairs bedrooms. The sun was setting, so all I could see was a dark silhouette. I yelled at it from the top of the driveway, and it was gone. I remember thinking it odd that my dog didn't bark or notice anything. I went inside, checked the house, the dog, the windows and doors, etc., and everything seemed in place. I assumed I had just seen a shadow from a nearby tree at sunset. The following night, I walked home from work and everything seemed normal. I checked all windows and doors, let the dog inside for the evening, and eventually put him and myself to bed. My bedroom was upstairs, down the hall from the room, next to the carport roof. Before bed, I had a routine of shutting all doors in the house, as they were all squeaky and the drafts would blow them closed if left open. This night, I closed all the doors, checked the locks, turned off all the lights, and went to sleep. In the middle of the night, I was awoken by something, not sure what, but when I came to, focused my eyes, and looked around, I saw the hallway light coming in under my door. I thought I'd turned it off, but perhaps I forgot. Right then, my door, oh no. Right then, my doorknob started rattling like someone was struggling to open the door. I immediately lay back down on my side, facing the wall opposite my bed, and my heart starts beating hard. I hear the door open and close my eyes. I figured if someone is breaking in, I'll pretend I'm asleep and maybe they'll take what they want and leave. I slowly open one eye, the one against the pillow, so it's less obvious. I see the light from the hallway on my wall. My bedroom door is fully open and my heart is beating harder. I lay still. I see the digital clock on my CD player. Oh, that's a throwback CD player. I see the digital clock on my CD player a little after 2 a.m. Then I hear the door creak again and watch as the light on the wall slowly starts to disappear. The bedroom door is closing. At this point, I'm positive we're being robbed, but I continue to pretend I'm asleep. Keeping one eye open, everything is heightened. The loudest noise is my heartbeat, but I try to listen through it and can't hear anything. No breathing, no footsteps, nothing. At this point, I begin to feel pressure around both my feet. The blanket is getting tighter around them, and I realize that something is now sitting on the end of my bed. I look at the clock again, and now it's a little before 3 a.m. I'm frozen, scared, and have no idea what's happening. At some point, I have the idea to slowly readjust my position in bed and move my feet a little to see if something moves or happens. So I do this, but as I slowly readjust my feet, I feel one of them hit something solid. Something's definitely sitting on the end of my bed. I don't know what to do at this point, so I stay still and listen while looking through one eye at the clock and the bedroom wall. The next thing I remember is hearing the first bird starting to chirp before sunrise. I look at the clock and it's now a little before 6 a.m., and I notice the room is a little brighter. The sun is coming. Shortly after this, I feel the pressure lift from the end of my bed. I hear the bedroom door open. I see the light from the hallway on the wall again, and then the door shuts and the sun starts to rise. I got up shortly after this and checked the whole house. All doors and windows were locked. The dog had slept through the night and nothing from the house was missing. My cat was stuck in the bathroom overnight. He must have followed me in when I brushed my teeth without my noticing. I'm not sure what happened, but I won't forget that night in Noble Park. I mean, that sounds like a ghostly encounter could be, but but then again, the dog's, did he say the dog was outside? The dog slept outside and he'd put it to bed.
Yeah.
And maybe if it was a spirit, maybe the spirit locked the cat in the bathroom so the cat didn't alert to it.
Oh yeah, because cats see everything, right?
Well, and like that's what I mean. And animals usually you trust their intuition, right? So it is that gave me the chills as I was reading. I was like, oh no, what's happening next?
It makes me laugh when people are always like, "Oh, I hide under my covers," or like, they're like they're gonna protect you. I think I would be the opposite, and I would like use my covers to be like, I would take them in my hands and then like dive over the thing and like trap them in it.
Yeah, it's your fight or flight, isn't it? I really don't know. I mean, I couldn't stay in bed for a long period of time, lay still without moving because there's a chance that I need to get up to go to the toilet. So I'd have to come to terms with the thing at the end of my bed at one point during the night. But that was freaky. What was the story called again? It's just something came into my home and sat on my bed, then I lost time. So that was interesting. Are there any comments? There's a few comments. If it was an entity, then it stayed there till dawn. You can do regression hypnosis to remember what happened to you. And OP says, I have been thinking about it lately. I hear it can be pretty intense. And then someone says, wow, I just read your story about the visitor in your room. That sounded really creepy. Please tell me you're just a writer practicing some fiction because otherwise your story seriously freaked me out. I've got a few questions. Did you feel threatened at all? Did it seem like a threatening presence or more neutral? Did your dog really not react at all? That was one of the things that I was questioning. And did you notice any weird marks on your body afterward? You mentioned you were awake and your heart was racing. If it was some kind of higher being, it definitely would have noticed that. And when you say you ended up falling asleep and losing track of time, like did you just pass out while you were terrified? Also, when did this happen? I'm really curious about this stuff. Sorry for all the questions.
Also,
But
like,
then there's no reply because that was only 2 hours ago.
could it have just been like your nan? Like she's over a path on the other side and she's just like sat on the end of your bed.
That's why I did get visitation vibes, but not necessarily an alien encounter. More, could the thing on the end of your bed been there to protect you from a potential abduction or slash encounter?
Maybe.
Because I have heard stories like that before. But yeah, very interesting. That story was from 16 days ago, and that last comment was from 2 hours ago. So I don't know if we'll get an update or any answers. But yeah, dude, that was creepy.
So last story from me now is from r/alien abduction. The title is Did I Have One? This is going to sound crazy, but I just don't know how to explain this. A few years ago, I woke up to see a black hole in my living room. I was sleeping on the couch with a friend after a movie night. The whooshing sound woke me up, and I was completely sober and in shock at what I was seeing. It was just this giant, weird black mass on the wall. I could feel it pulling me towards it, and I grabbed the top of my couch and said, I'm not ready to die. And I watched it close. So I couldn't help myself. I'd jump in. What's that swoop? The swooshing sound stopped, and so did the weird cold pull I felt. I immediately woke up my friend. That's how I know I wasn't dreaming. Fast forward to yesterday. I fell asleep and woke up, and the same swooshing noise was there. Only I felt like I was falling and wasn't in my room. All I could see was grey all around me with weird white lines that looked like stars. It looked like I was laying in a convertible, moving super fast at night. That's the best way to describe what I was seeing. I immediately started freaking out and just thought, holy shit, you'll be home soon. Close your eyes and it will all be gone. So I did that and opened my eyes again and I was in my room. But what didn't sit right with me is that I woke up on my covers. I had gone to bed under four blankets. When I woke up, they were perfectly flat underneath me, almost like I made the bed, completely terrifying, and I am just trying to understand what happened to me. And then the comments are, wow, that's crazy. That's all you can remember. Try to meditate. Tell yourself you will remember. Clear your mind and just remember everything you said and try and go back before. Another one that says that's a real life abduction. Interesting story. Post this on another subreddit. Now, this is a great story. I advise regression therapy and an update after. An update if it happens again, and any other details. This is a new sounding type of thing for me, at least. Keep us posted, and I wish you luck more than that. I hope it was all just a dream for you. And that's all the comments on that.
Yeah, but if it was just a dream, what was she doing going around making a bed while she's dreaming? That
Sleepwalking.
that'd freak me out. That'd freak me out if I went to bed under four blankets and then woke up on top of them flat, like the bed
Mhm.
had been made.
Yeah, definitely. Like the black hole as well. Like, you're not dreaming because you've just woke your mate up. Well, like when it's disappeared, you've woken your mate that's on the sofa up, and everyone's awake.
Black hole, or was it like smoke shadow or something that made it look like a black hole? I don't know.
Rather than it being like a black hole is what we think of a black hole, because to us, like a black hole will like swallow space
Mhm,
kind of thing.
mhm.
Maybe it was a portal.
Maybe. So, well, you've already established that you'd go through the portal.
100%. Would you not?
Now, see, now I don't know. I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would because I'm not. I like to stay safe. I'm not very adventurous. I don't have, I'm not an adrenaline junkie. I'd be curious, but I don't know if I'd actually take that step. So let us know in the comments if you would go through the portal or nope. Or if you'd nope the portal.
I would like to be able to, take Dean and the kids with me. I'd be like, quick, come here,
But that
let's
that'd
go.
be that'd be my one thing of like, do I get to come back out of the portal, or
Mhm.
is this my only shot? So I think that's what would stop me. If I could guarantee hop back and forth, then yeah, I'd pop through the portal, but not into the unknown, unfortunately, not for me. Okay, so next story is from r/abductions, and it's called "My Mother." I think my mother, my brother, and I have been abducted. You see, something very strange happened at my house a few days ago. I was walking my dog, and when I returned to my building, a neighbour who lives just below my apartment stopped me to ask about something she was worried about. She told me that the night before, she, her husband, and her children woke up because they heard very loud noises coming from our apartment, as if someone was bouncing a ball very hard against the floor. To give an idea, the area they described is between my mother's and my brother's rooms, which are adjacent. The sounds were like loud bangs. The woman asked me if we were okay and why we had made such loud noises at 2 a.m. at night. I'm wondering if something had happened to us. I looked at her puzzled and told her that I didn't know what she was talking about. I fell asleep around 1:45 a.m., so before 2 a.m., and I don't remember any noise. If something happened, I've forgotten it. Neither my brother nor my mother woke up either. My neighbour said the noise was so loud that they were about to come upstairs to ring our doorbell, but then the noise stopped, so they didn't. Surprised and confused, I told her that I didn't know what she was talking about, that I didn't make those noises, and my family didn't mention anything to me. Later, my mother spoke to my neighbor and told her she didn't remember anything either. The thing is, we don't know if it's something paranormal or something else. Although, honestly, even though it sounds crazy, when it comes to paranormal things, for me, it seems to fit more with a possible abduction than with a ghost. Because how is it possible that something was banging so hard on the floor next to my mother and brother, and our neighbours downstairs woke up, but none of us did? It didn't make sense. But here comes the second part of this story, which is what motivated me to post it here on Reddit. As I mentioned, we are living in a building with several apartments, one on top of the other. Ours is the one at the very top, where the roof is just above the attic. Our apartment is a duplex, and I sleep upstairs in a large attic, while my mother and brother sleep downstairs. The last thing is, last night I woke up several times and had to go back to sleep. But during one of those moments, I thought I had woken up when I hadn't. I have no idea if this was a hallucination, a dream, or an astral projection. Let me explain. I'm lying down and I receive a photo from my brother on my phone. In it, I see a short, grey alien with a large head peeking through my brother's door, as if my brother had taken the photo and sent it to me via WhatsApp. The thing is, I see this, I get really scared, and I get out of bed and walk around the room to reach the stairs and go downstairs. But when I'm about to reach the door to my attic, I feel like I can't pass through. I don't understand why, and that's when I realise everything is the same. Dark, the furniture in the same place, but I realise that it might be my astral body. I think of my bed to check, and I automatically return to see the area of my bed as if teleported. But I can't wake up, and no matter how hard I try, I can't. Then the strange thing is that I think bad things will appear in my room, but they don't. I start praying to God. I'm not religious, by the way, praying for good or luminous beings to intervene, and I finally wake up this morning. When I do, that message with the photo doesn't exist on my phone, and my brother never sent it. Everything seems to have been a nightmare of some kind or some kind of hallucination. But what strikes me is that it didn't feel like a dream. It felt extremely real. I could think and reason just like in real life. I could feel myself getting out of bed and walking around my room. I'm pretty sure that walking around my room was an astral projection, but the thing on the phone, I don't understand it. I don't know if it was a hallucination, a memory, a message from my mind, or something repressed. I have no idea. But both things felt as real or even more real than reality itself. I think what happened to me last night might be a sign that my mind is struggling to unlock a repressed memory from the other day, and that somehow I was walking around my room with my astral body. I would like to know what you all think about this. I promise I haven't made anything up and this is 100% real. I just wanted to share it here in case somebody could help me or give me ideas about what happened and what it all means. Whoa.
Yeah.
Astral projection is a real thing, and like some people can consciously do that while they're unconscious. I know it sounds bizarre, but there's lots and lots of stories. Anti-Matrix reads quite a few that are like that. But the picture, excuse me, what? Like how I don't know. I can't even comprehend or start to think of how and why that happened. I mean, I have heard of instances where people take a picture and then they go to look at it the next day and the picture's disappeared. So that kind of makes sense. But for him to remember it, but his brother not send it, and for it to be a grey, I'm not sure. Something tells me again, potentially paranormal, but also the banging.
Yeah.
You'd if it was paranormal, like he said, you'd hear the banging, right?
Or
You'd be
maybe that was something paranormal happening for the people that, like, I assume are downstairs from their apartment,
potentially.
and it wasn't actually to do with them, but it all kind of just crossed over.
Yeah, very strange. I'm stumped. Let's have a look at some of the comments. It is possible. They can basically put us into a virtual space and we don't see what they are actually doing. If you had hypnosis to try and recover the memory, the therapist would have to be able to get you to go past this memory block. While you were in that space, they are really doing something else. You will have to try and uncover to find out. And then someone put, you assume a lot by saying that a therapist could get past a mental block. And then they proceed to have a little back and forth about that. Any signs of being burglarized as an alternative option? I say this because where I live, quite a few people have been horrifyingly gassed and made unconscious by burglars. Wow. New fear unlocked there.
I mean, you've always got to visit all the mundane, boring shit, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. And then there's a really long comment that's like as long as the story. And then someone says, "Can you tell him to come and abduct me?" And someone else says, "Sounds like sleep paralysis. I get it all the time. I'm assuming your brother is older. Either he had a girl over or your mum had someone over, and that's what the noises are from?" Question mark. And then someone put, "Are you serious? Do you realize how silly and offensive your post is?" I don't see what's offensive about that. Just questioning, just throwing an alternative out there. I mean, that's what we do, right? That's the sense of community.
Yeah, I mean, people just get offended by all kinds these days, don't they?
That is true. I mean, at the end of the story, it does say, "I would like to know what you think about this." So, he's open to people's opinions. But yeah, I mean, I'm thrown off by that one. I don't know what to think. I don't, I have no idea what it could be. Potential astral projection in there. That's a
Yeah.
potential always, but I have no idea how to explain the picture.
I mean, with astral projection, though, like normally you have to be aware of astral projection to be able to do it in the first place. It's not something that generally just you randomly do one day and then you're
Yeah.
like, oh, what was that? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly, yeah. And that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know if people can just all of a sudden start astral projecting, but I have heard stories of people who can unconsciously but consciously aware that they're doing it. I heard a story the other week, and the girl, while this astral projection thing was going on, she could see her body like
hmm.
asleep in the bed,
Yeah.
and she witnessed a burglary
Wow.
that happened while her and her roommate were asleep. And the roommate woke up the next day and absolutely freaked because she was like, "Have you been rifling through all my stuff?" And the girl was like, "Absolutely not. No, look, my stuff's all a mess too." She seen the shadowy figures, and one of the creepiest things about it was that they went up to her and like touched her hair, as
Oh,
if to like tuck it behind her ear. I was like, "Ugh, that's not nice. That's gross."
that's too far. Too far. Take my shit, but don't touch my hair.
Do you have another story?
Maybe.
Because that was my third, and I went first.
Oh, I thought that was my last one. Oh no, I do have another one.
Now this is the last one.
This is the last one. Oh God, unreviewed content in this community has not been reviewed and might contain content inappropriate. Blah 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 blah. It's making me download the fucking app to be able to read it. Hold on.
Is it? Is it
Yeah,
the last one? Is it the last one? My encounter with alien human hybrids.
yeah, that's the
Have you
one.
read that one?
Nope.
Right, we'll wait there and I'll send you a screenshot.
And I can either download the app or press take me home. So, right, well, I've got the app now, so I might be able to get through to it. I don't like Reddit.
I used to be, I mean, I never used to be anti-Reddit. I just never had it because I
I
didn't
just
really know what it was because it's kind of a social media, but not really a social media.
I just had bad experiences with Reddit. First time I ever experienced Reddit was when we got put on the anti-MLM.
Oh, I mean, a bad experience will put you off
Yeah.
like that. But if you ever have a snark page or anyone going to Reddit about you, it means you've made it, honey.
Yeah, that's like that's my only really like experience with Reddit is that, and it's
Mhm.
a fucking horrible like thread to be on. That they're
Yeah.
like they're horrible, horrible people. They're not even an MLM company, right? Like we have affiliates.
Hmm.
Amazon has fucking affiliates.
Yeah.
Like,
Some people just need to go to their corner of the internet to be horrible.
mhm.
And a lot of the time it's a projection of themselves more than a hate for you or what you're doing. And I mean, I avoid snark pages, like I won't search our company name on there. I find my communities and look in my communities. I don't necessarily scroll the main page.
I come across it by Googling us,
Oh.
and it popped up, and I was like, "What is this?" Clicked in it, and we hadn't been around long. Like I don't think you were even like part of the
No,
company at the time.
I don't think I was, no.
Um, it was within the first year. We were still Hannibus, and it was just horrendous, like absolutely fucking horrendous.
I think that was someone who was just a bit jealous,
Hmm.
a bit
And
bitter.
anyone that's worked with us, like, will vouch that like we are not the typical like network marketing MLM company. Like we don't even brand ourselves as that or label ourselves as that because we are us. We don't beat to anyone else's drum,
We're
and
completely separate.
mhm.
don't have, we don't have investors, we don't have anything like that, It's we took everything we didn't like about network marketing and MLM and threw it in the bin.
Yeah. So then
And then we did our own thing.
when we got posted on that thread, I was like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah.
Like you don't even know about us or what we actually do. And we're not even in this community. Like the community that you hate, that's not us. Like I hate that community too. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie. Like I also hate that community.
Legit. Legit.
Anyway, so this is actually my last story. It was posted 2 days ago, and it is from r/alien encounters. My encounter with alien human hybrids. This happened over a year ago. A lot of strange things were happening in my life as I was deep diving into the conspiracy theories of the secrets hidden by the government, such as aliens, Illuminati, and the New World Order. I won't get into the last two since that is off topic, but just wanted to mention that for context. Anyway, I had seen other strange things that I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about on here either way. Anyway, I had seen other strange things I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about on here either. But the day where I had my encounter was somewhat normal day. Pulled up to a CVS near me, looking at some conspiracy theories in my parked car. Then all of a sudden, on the sidewalk, these two kids pulled up and tried not to make eye contact with me, but they were trying to be within my vicinity. I immediately noticed that they looked like aliens, but as humans. They had normal human eyes and bodies, except for the fact their skin was tinted blue. They also had these weird foreheads, which looked like third eye that could open up. I really wish I attempted to take a video of them, but I was too freaked out and darted off. If I'm allowed to talk about anything else I saw, which is technically considered alien like, I'll mention that too, but it's under another conspiracy theory outside of aliens itself.
Ooh, I mean, I actually commented on this post. I upvoted this and commented on this post. And I said, sorry, before what I said, somebody else said, I like your post, and then it immediately went back to 0 likes, which I found strange. Also, I'd like to hear about your other experience.
Oh, was that you, Apothecary Madness?
Yeah. I know it sounds crazy, but please hear me out. And someone said, I don't see why not, do tell. But basically, I can't find the comment now. It's disappeared, but he was, oh, it has to do with lizard people. Am I allowed to talk about that here? So my comment was then, aren't the lizard people technically aliens too? I'd like to hear your story. And then the story about the lizard people it says, sorry for the late response, I've been busy. But basically, I saw these lizard people. I remember hearing about it through the Denver airport conspiracy and how they have posters up talking about the conspiracies there, like lizard people and New World Order. I didn't believe in it at first, nor did I brush it off to the side, till one day I pulled up to the nearby park for a walk and noticed this car that was there at the same time as I went past, parked in the same spot. I observed the car, trying to be able to tell if it was the same one. While I was doing that, the woman in the car rolled down her window and asked in a confused manner as to why I was looking at her car. I told her that I saw her the last time she was there, and she calmed down. She started to have a small conversation, and I asked her what she does for a living, and she said she was a businesswoman. She smiled, and I immediately noticed something was off about her. Her teeth looked very full and almost like they were sharp. But more importantly, this was when I noticed her eyes, which were very round and had weird pupils, which looked scaly and like she could blink horizontally. She said she was a businesswoman, and I was worried she was trying to get me to sell my soul. Later that day, I ran into a guy at this abandoned satanic house that I went to explore. I immediately noticed that he was one of the lizard people. His eyes were even more scaly than the woman. The pupils were also diamond shaped and purple. I
Creepy.
mean, nope.
Nope.
Absolutely not. Um, I do feel a little bit like you might be looking for this stuff because of what you're into. It's leading you down certain paths. For example, I don't know. I don't know what to make of the lizard people, if I'm being honest. There are encounters, but then again, I've never encountered it for myself, so I honestly don't know. But people do have like what are they called, where they put like metal under the skin to give them like horns and facial reconstructions, and some people do have the teeth sharpened, some people wear contact lenses. Have you seen the guy who's had his eyeballs tattooed
Yes.
so that the whites are all black?
Hmm.
um and and they're humans that are wanting to take on the form of something else. There's also the guy, I don't know if it might be the same guy actually that did the eyeballs. He's split his tongue in two, so it's like a snake tongue. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Stay safe in your encounters. If you're going out looking for it, stay safe. Be vigilant. And with the blue people, I would have just got out the car like, hey. That's one of them situations where I would have been like, because you went to CVS, but what did you go to CVS for? Did you just go to the car park to sit in the car?
Weird.
Or, I mean, to each their own. But I feel like I need to talk to this person more because I like talking about conspiracy theories. I don't believe them all, just so you know, I don't believe them all. But I like a good conspiracy theory as much as the next. The Illuminati is always interesting to talk about, although I do believe you should be careful with what you say about that and who you say it to.
Thank you,
Uh,
Beyonce.
Yes, Beyonce, thank you very much. And I think that's it for today, guys. If you have any interesting stories of your own, if you've been abducted by aliens or had any encounters or know of somebody that has, let us know in the comments because we would love to hear from you. We will potentially be resuming as normal next month with some Am I the Arsehole maybe splashed in and out. So let us know what you want to hear from us. And yeah, take care, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.